Yeah, I'm posting it on the artillery Discord for you. Oh, I know. I did the same thing. I didn't do it yet for my stuff either because it's like I'm not really doing it that often. So. Switch it. There it goes. Switch was being a bitch for a minute there. Okay, now I gotta figure out how to turn the volume down on this stupid thing. Yep. My mic is live. You mean your messages? Yeah, they're going through, and my mic is live on everything right now. So. Yep. I didn't hear you. I heard me. What's up, Mike? Yeah, I know. He told me it was, and he lied to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm still trying to work out getting Taz's and or any guest mics off. It's not supposed to be showing up here, but yes, here it is. Anyways, we're going to be going actually live in a few more minutes here. I will be right back. Well, you know, I might as well just pop it over to the other screen for you guys. There we go. Now everybody can be friends. I'll be right back.
Some serious delay on my end. Whoops. I can't see anymore. It's hard to make it work on his stuff. It just kind of puts it wherever it wants. I got echo. It's got to be from him then, because I don't have anything that's actually on from me. So that's still peeling up ones. Yeah, it is. Oh, I figured.
Well, I'm getting no echo from you on my end.
I don't know. I don't have nothing on, so could have been just like the startup switching over. Who knows?
Well, you're not the only one. I've been seeing in some of the various forums and things like that that people are experiencing some just strange stream behaviors and everything like that. And like I said, I'm going to kind of try to attribute some of that to how many millions of people are probably trying to stream their Fortnite games right now.
Yeah.
With nothing better to do. You sound fine on my end.
Well, it was like earlier today. My mic was clipping for some reason. I don't know why, and everything was showing up normal on my end. So it's like okay, and then I noticed I was dropping frames because my broadcaster tells me when I have like weird streaming issues. So I think that's it.
Yeah, it does on our end too, and I got rid of that by decreasing the frame rate just a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, when I did it today, I was like surprised. I haven't been dropping frames for a long time, and of course, not everybody and their brother's home normally, so my Delta just failed. Just now. I had it working, and then the
what brand is the Delta?
The coupler broke on the hot end. I finally get it fixed and get it heating up right in the whole shot. It's printing, and it's working real nice. And then the stupid Bowden tube connector broke completely off. I gotta take it apart. I'm like, seriously? I know I haven't used it in a while, but come on. Huh, still super echo. I don't know.
I can try adjusting something on my end. I can't guarantee it'll make any difference, but why not? That's what we're doing right now. We're kind of running some of these preliminary tests. We got to hammer some of this stuff out, and people are going to be locked up for the next couple of months, so it's something we got to work around. No guarantees that I can. Yeah, see, I
don't know, maybe if I do that, is it any better? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm showing your.
Which mic are we checking though? Are we checking Earl's or mine?
Mike asks for a mic check and both of us go dead silent.
Right? It's always the way.
Yeah, I'm listening to your incoming on my end. There's no echo, and then I'm listening to the outgoing on my end, and there's no echo.
I don't know. It does. I told you, streaming doesn't like me with sound. Things I've always had when I streamed back in the day. It's always been sound issues. It wouldn't be a show for me if there wasn't some kind of issue with sound. So.
Well, I told you what happened to me Friday night. I was like, just before, like 2-3 hours just before the stream was scheduled to go live. The sound took a dump on me, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I got a call from my family. People were probably wondering what was happening with that, and I just had some family issues crop up and had to cancel the stream. And then today, or Saturday, the sound issues persisted, and I finally figured those out. Well, in the meantime, for a few minutes here, it's only going to take a couple of minutes, a user on the Facebook groups was trying to play with vase mode, and he was having problems with some of the walls on his model that weren't wanting to print properly, and a lot of that is just attributed to the surface being ran at almost a 90-degree angle to the build plate, which vase mode doesn't work very well for. So what you need to do is, instead of running vase mode, you need to hollow your model, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. The more involved method is using something like Fusion 360. Mesh Mixer will do it, I think. ZBrush, we have the ability to do that, but some of those programs aren't easily accessible to people, and with simple objects and things like that, you can do it really fast in a software that everybody has access to. No, I do not have a speaker on from Taz. I have him coming through on my headset, and that's it. Yeah, he's only coming through on my headset. I forgot to pop myself on. Hey, everybody. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm talking to a coffee cup. How I roll, man.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying, getting back to the simple method for hollowing out a model, Windows 10 3D Builder, everybody has access to it. Even if you have a Mac, you can run it through Parallels or one of the other programs that they use for emulation. Yeah, it could be Mike. I'm going to pop screens over here. And hopefully, well, I say that, I need to go into studio mode first real quick here. Alrighty, we're going to transition for just a second here. And you guys should be able to see 3D Builder. Alright, you guys getting this?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Okay. I have a couple of
slower on the other one.
Pardon?
So I'm messing around because it's going slower on the other one. I got it on my iPad.
Oh. Yeah, I got a couple of models already set up here. This is just a quick Amphora primitive, similar to what the guy was working with for example purposes and things like that. The brown one is the original, and the green one is one that I already scaled down, but I'm just going to show how simple it is to do this. In the case of duplicating it, just go to Object here, duplicate it, and I'm going to bring it, snap it into place here. Go up to View, set it to X-ray, and what we're going to do is click on the resizing, and we're going to temporarily lock it. Squeeze this little beastie down a little bit. Now the way this feature works, you're going to have to kind of play with a little bit, because scaling it down globally will not always work properly. We're going to recenter it in the part. Blink. And you can kind of see that it's almost there, but due to the nature of how this works, you'll see that it gets really thick down towards the bottom and really thin towards the top. The way around this now is to go back to the sizing, unlock the global, and we're going to pull this little beastie down. We're going to go up, drop this little beastie down a little bit this way, bring it in a little bit this way, and bring it in a little bit this way. That's relatively close. You'll actually see that you have to work on a couple of different axes here. It's doing pretty good all the way around. Go back and grab it, and we're going to center this again. There we go. And that's about what we end up with. When I hollow models out in this fashion, I'm not overly concerned about getting the walls all exactly the same thickness, especially if I'm going to be making a model of the outside part. The object here is you want to just make sure that your walls are thick enough, and after doing this for so long, you just kind of get a feel for how thick is the right amount. The next step in this is to go up to the edit, and we're going to subtract this. And what this does is this is actually going to take the currently selected part that we resized and subtract it from the interior of the model that it's residing in. I'm going to go ahead and hit subtract, and even though it looks like nothing happened, something really did. And then real quick here, the reason I just duplicated this thing again was because I'm going to use it to create a part that I need to use up top here. I'm going to get rid of X-ray so you can see what I'm explaining to people here. And then we're going to resize this. Let's just set the global on for a second there, and we're just going to squeeze that down a little bit, and you get used to how much is actually enough. And that's going to almost be right. I want to scale it just a little bit more. It's going to be about right. The nice thing about the global function is if you have that lock on, it will resize all axes. You don't have to worry about going from front to back or top down. Since we've got it resized now, we're going to go back to edit and subtract it. Deselect that, and there's our little plug that we have there. We're just going to delete that, and bada boom. You now have a thicker walled model. The other way of doing this is I'm going to use this other duplicate over on the other side here, and this is a very simple feature. It is selected up on the top in the edit menu. There's a hollow method. You can set the thickness, and in this particular case it's doing 1 millimeter, and that sounds pretty good to me. We'll just go ahead and let it do it. Now that does things a little bit more evenly, but there's going to be a problem with it, and I'll show you this in just a second. Let me go ahead and, just for the sake of speed here, I'm going to split this. And let's pull it down to about right here. Now you'll actually see, if you get closer, you'll actually see that on the interior of this thing, 3D Builder's hollow function puts a pretty heavy-duty pixelated texture on the inside. And that is both good and bad. If you were to try to print this on a FDM printer, it's going to knock the hell out of your printer. Every time it's going through and doing these interior walls, you're going to see your X gantry whipping back and forth trying to produce all of these pixels. That's why I don't prefer using this function in this fashion. This is useful for resin printing. Resin printers don't care just by nature of the way that they print parts. But if you don't mind your printer knocking around a little bit, now you can even cheat a little further and you can smooth that out on the interior, but by the time you're getting to that point, you're almost better off using Fusion 360 or learning to use Fusion 360 for the hollowing functions and things like that. The purpose of this was just how to quickly hollow out a model on the fly if you don't have that much knowledge towards doing this sort of thing. You can do this with just about any type of model out there. This is also highlighting the split feature, which is really cool. People are wondering, well, you know, how can I split a model for, you know, separating onto the build plate into two different parts or things like that. And that's just as simple. Coming here, you'll see that I'm actually keeping both. Split this perfectly in two. From time to time, you'll get a model that'll show you a red box on the bottom, and that's because it creates errors, and there's an auto-fix feature that would pop up. One of these times when I'm showing this, to be able to show people how to work with that. But there you go. You have a split model, and then in this particular case, instead of goofing around with it in your slicer, to place it on your build plate properly and everything like that, I prefer using, again, a simple program like 3D Builder for even, you know, doing my build plates and placing my build plates properly. In this particular case here, settle that BC on the floor. There we go. That's set down on the floor at 0, and you can import this model. You know, just save the file as an STL and import this model directly into your slicer, and that's how it'll end up on your bed. That's that. I'm gonna finish this part up here, and we'll go back to the good stuff. There we go. All right, everybody. Just a quick hollow on the fly there. I go back and scan through the chat here and see what's going on with everybody.
Sorry, I muted myself for a minute.
Pardon?
So sorry, I muted myself so I wouldn't interrupt you when I was doing something.
Oh.
So yeah, so this actually broke right in the middle of printing.
What brand Delta was that? You might have said earlier and I didn't catch it.
It's the Anycubic Castle Plus. Yeah, I haven't had that happen in a long time. They went back together too. I don't know.
Mike's one of the first ones. You're guessing I'm in Asia?
What's that?
Probably because of my the living room in my background here.
Oh yeah, here.
No, I'm in York, or just outside of York, Pennsylvania, in the United States.
He's pretending to be in Hawaii, though.
Pardon? Oh,
You're
yeah.
pretending to be in Hawaii.
Yeah, I'd prefer being in Hawaii because that's where my wife and son are right now.
I think that's where I'd rather be myself, but anyway.
You know, regarding Hawaii, I love the place, but after living there for a number of years, if you get bored easy like I do, this is what you can do in Hawaii. You can go shopping, you can eat, and you can go to the beach. That's about it. Anything else, well, you can go to Starbucks, you can go to the mall. The big mall, especially on Oahu, Ala Moana, is right by the beach. So, yeah. Also, too, being a Michigan boy and growing up in a deer hunting culture and a winter culture, you know, part of the year, one of the biggest problems I had, one of the biggest problems I had after a while in Hawaii was no seasons. The seasonal changes in Hawaii are really subtle. It's either hot and humid, not so hot, not so humid, but still hot and humid, or raining, or hot, and then more humid. One of the funny things I noticed, though, too, is people who have lived there and are acclimated to the temperature and the overall conditions there. When it goes down to 60 or 65, and it does do that from time to time, people come out of the woodwork wearing the snorkel winter coats at 60 degrees. And after being there for a number of years, for some, thank the gods, for some reason, I never became acclimated to it that way. So I was in shorts all the time, and when it go down to 60s, that was beautiful weather for me. People were kind of freaking out. Aren't you cold? Aren't you cold? Yeah, my wife's family owns homes in the Philippines as well, and yep, I'm familiar with those conditions as well. Where in the Philippines do you go, Mike?
I don't know, I'm trying again. Let's see if this works. I'm getting good at breaking stuff. That's a skill, I think. I just don't type to break things.
Oh,
that's how I got so knowledgeable about half the stuff that gets broken. It's like, I've done it.
I have not. I have very little experience with the Delta printers, and that was only because the few that I had access to never presented any problems whatsoever, and I didn't have them long enough to experience any real issues with them. So,
it's been a pretty solid printer now. Maybe first month maybe with it, irritated me because their software was off. Because they have an auto bed level on it, and it, you got to connect the sensor to it, and it wasn't working right. So right out the gate, I get it all set up. I'm ready to go. I did everything I was supposed to do, and flying down like 90 miles an hour and crashes into the plate and just scratches the hell out of it. I'm like, what could I have possibly done wrong? So I email them, and actually one of the few places that respond to you nowadays, except for like maybe artillery, but they actually respond to me like, oh yeah, there was a problem with it. Here's the updated software for Marlin. I'm like, okay. So I put it in. Worked like a dream. They sent me a new hot. It just worked. And I just haven't used it a lot because it's fun to watch and it's fairly fast. The build plate being round limits you to what you can really use it for.
Yeah.
I know it sounds weird. You think you'd be able to get more stuff on it than you can. It's like, okay,
I've always liked watching the Deltas print just to watch them print because of the movements and the additional hardware required to achieve basically the same thing. I mean, X, Y, and Z on the Cartesians, I guess we're going to call them that, are boring in comparison. And, all the sci-fi movies and everything like that, anytime they're printing something really cool, like a body part or something like that, it's always done like on a Delta, so.
Well, yeah, they're fun to watch. Like I said, a very entertaining printer, but feasibility, it's like,
Yeah, well, that's why the couple that I had here didn't last very long because I don't think I was ever going to be comfortable with them being reliable as much as I could rely on the FDM for doing what it needs to do.
But I invested so much in making it like a mobile printer. So I that's called the Death Star. So I started off with my Enders.
Right.
I had Darth Ender, and then I got a second Ender because I was not printing fast enough. So you get a second one so you print faster. So that became Ender Trooper, and then I got the Delta. It became the Death Star Delta. So I got a little bit of little place in my heart for it.
Right.
Because it's fun, like I said, it's fun. When it works great. When it doesn't, it's annoying. I don't know. They put a bodem on it, and it's just like sometimes it wants to work, and other times it really would be great if you could put a direct drive on it, but I think it might be too much weight.
Right. Yeah, Mike, the family's houses and everything are up in Ilocos North and is it Baguio? I don't know why I'm wanting to call it. God, the wife would shoot me right now. Basically in the same city and right down the road actually from the Marcos mansion. Literally, it's right down the road. You could step out into the street and look down there, and that's where the Marcos mansion is. Yeah, if you looking at it on the map and everything like that, it's the home, if you will, is right next to the bus station, which makes for kind of interesting things going on throughout the course of the day and sometimes at night.
Great for people what?
The build plate brand, the PEI that is out there that I use almost all the time. It's not really a brand, but it's sold by Gizmo Dorks. I'll get that link up and I'll put that link in the chat for people to go by here. I still keep meaning to put my recommended list up on 3D Nexus, and it is almost finished. I keep adding to it, and I keep getting sidetracked. There we go.
Oh, I still can't get used to wearing glasses.
There we go. There we go. That's the link for the 12-inch, which will be for the X1, and then there's another size for the Genius, and I'll get that up in a second here. This comes with the adhesive and everything needed to apply it directly to the bed on the printer. You don't have to, well, except for cleaning the bed up before you put it on. You don't have to do anything else. And that is the link.
I love you too.
That is the link for the Genius, in case someone has a Genius and they want to put that on theirs. Alrighty, I need to keep this as a quick stream for the most part. There's a little bit of work I need to get finished up here. I need to go into the lab section there and fire up all the printers and get them going. The intent, as you see on the screen, there is going to be a live stream tonight, which for some people it's not Sunday yet, and other people it is Sunday. The date is 4/12, probably 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do my best to advertise on the groups, and for those following on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and on the website, I'm going to try to get the notification of the exact time up at least early in the day, so that people have time to prepare for it and plan for it. And we'll end up going from there. Thank everybody for showing up. This will be up on replay, both on Twitch and YouTube. Like and follow, subscribe, all that other happy stuff. And pour me some coffee if you get a chance to. Take care, everybody.